Hi everyone, I'm Jenna with Brown Dog Craft Company. Today's Friday, August 29th, 2025, and we are here today for the Scenic Adventures class to go. So today's class to go features the Scenic Adventures bundle, which I think is an online exclusive. I will flip the camera and I'll show you the bundle in just a minute here. And there was no DSP that coordinated with this bundle. It wasn't a suite, it was just a bundle. So I never remember the name of this DSP. It is in the PDF guide, the name of it, but I think it was with one of the scrapbooking releases, if I'm not mistaken. And then I did pull in a couple of other stamp sets, totally not necessary. I just wanted some different sentiments than what was in the Scenic Adventures stamp set. So I pulled in Pattern of Friendship and The Right Words. So if you are joining live, say hello in the live chat. Otherwise, say hi in the replay. I'd like to reply to all of you and say hello. And let me adjust my camera angle a bit. There we go. And let's talk about a couple of things really quick. So we have a new catalog and new online exclusives, both releasing and dropping on September 3rd, which I believe is it Tuesday or is it Wednesday? I think it's Tuesday. Things normally drop on a Tuesday. Either way, it's the 3rd, whatever day that is. And it's the mini catalog, so September to December. And there's a whole bunch of goodies in there. And then the online exclusives. So if you want to order them today, you can sign up to be a demonstrator if you aren't already one, and you can include them in part of your starter kit and receive a discount on them. So I am looking to grow my team by 5 people by the end of the year. So if you would like to be on my team and have the benefits of receiving your Stampin' Up! Things at a discount, please reach out to me and I'd be happy to get you signed up. When you do join my team, you are also joining the Be Happy Stampers. So you'll be recognized as a team member on both of our teams. So reach out to me if you have any questions and I'd be glad to help you. So let's see. One thing from the new catalog, well, this one here, so this is Handmade Halloween, and this is from an online exclusive release in July. These particular products, we're going to have a class. It's not going to include all of this, those banners and whatnot, but it is going to include, there's a suite, the Spooky Halloween suite, and I can't remember the name of the suite, and then there's another stamp set. There's 2 Halloween stamp sets that we'll be using in that class. So just keep an eye out. I know some of you don't do Halloween crafting and some of you do a lot of it. So if you do Halloween crafting, this will be the class for you. There is a little sneak peek of what's coming in, let me get this up here, in the new annual catalog. So this is, I think it's called North Pole Delivery is the suite, and this is in the new mini catalog. It is my favorite suite in the whole mini catalog, and we will definitely be doing a class on that for sure. It's really cute, puppies obviously, and we have to do that. The September Paper Pumpkin you can still sign up for through September 10th. This will coordinate with a suite that is coming in the new mini catalog. Really pretty. Let's see, what else do we have in here? Oh, there's 2 new kits coming. One is called Bunches of Thanks. Really pretty florals. I like her nails in that picture. And then there's one more kit. It's called Harvest Home. So, and it's a garland kit. So this one I'm really excited about. Those pretty leaves. Okay, so that's I think what is upcoming. And let's flip the camera and I'll show you what we have for today. Okay. There we are. All right, hello. Okay, there we are. Oh, all right, so we're gonna make 4 cards today. They are these 4 cards featuring the Scenic Adventures suite, and we'll go over these in more detail. I wanted to show you an example of what the card kits look like when you buy a card kit from me. So this is not this class, this is a different class. This is the Holiday Hustle class that's upcoming. But all of my classes come in these nice zippered pouches. And then in here you'll have your printed guide, your envelopes, your paper for stamping, your card bases, all your things for die cutting, your DSP, which is generally a quarter pack of DSP, your embellishments, which is generally 1 pack of embellishments, ribbon needed for your cards, plus a little extra, and then a little tag that tells you what this class is. So how class works for me is you'll get pieces of paper to die cut anything that is from the featured bundle. So if something is die cut, like for instance this little die cut here is from Unbounded Love dies. Since this is not from the featured bundle, from the Scenic Adventures bundle, this piece will be die cut for you. But as part of your homework, you'll die cut these pieces. So I did do the homework ahead of time, and we'll go through the homework here when we get started on class, but just so you're aware how class works for me. So I do have 1 kit left of the Scenic Adventures bundle, and everything that is left for upcoming classes all the way through the middle of September is going to be listed on my website. So if you go to browndogcraftcompany.com, you can purchase the card kit or any other card kit that you're looking at on my website. So I do have 1 left for today and pretty much 1 or 2 left for the rest of September classes also. So I'll show you quickly what the rest of September classes are. This one features Impressions A Bloom, Floral Flowers A Bloom maybe is the bundle. So that will be an upcoming class. I've shown that one. We're doing Holiday Hustle. That's the card kit I just had. We're going to do 5 cards in that one. It features Sweetest Jar and Jar of Joy, I think are the names. Okay, so there's that one. These ones all have double mats because apparently I was in a double matting mood, so they have mats on the inside too. And then this one is called More Messages. It features the More Messages bundle, which is that bundle that you stamp all the sentiments at one time and then you die cut them out all at one time. And the Floral Charm DSP. And we use 6 cards. We use every single pattern of DSP. So all your postage dies will be die cut for you already. And these cards go together really quick. They're great for mass producing because of how many sentiments you get when you stamp the cards, or when you stamp the stamp set. So Prize Patrol, I didn't mention that, but Prize Patrol, if you could like and share the video and comment that you like and shared the video, you will be entered to win Prize Patrol. So Prize Patrol will be announced. The winner of today will be announced at the next class, and the winner today will win. It's a 2022 to 2024 in color retirement class. So the whole class packet is in here, everything you need. This did feature Share a Milkshake, and there is a class available to watch online. If you scroll back a ways, probably May of 24. But you don't need the Share a Milkshake bundle. You can switch out and use any bundle that you want. But you'll get a lot of supplies in here, a whole pack of embellishments, a massive pack of twine. So really cute card kit. All right, let's look at the colors of ink that we need for today. So we will need Cajun Craze, Early Espresso, Misty Moonlight, Old Olive, Mossy Meadow, Cloud Cover, Azure Afternoon, and Pretty Peacock. We will need a black ink for stamping. And when I'm just stamping, I like my VersaFine. Any pigment ink works really great for stamping. You can't use it to alcohol marker color, but you can use it for stamping. And with the caveat of I sometimes miss inks, so we may need to pull some others in if I missed any. So let's see, here's the bundle. So Scenic Adventure, and the stamp set is really pretty, but in my opinion, the real magic comes in when you get the dies, and it's because of how the dies cut. So they don't necessarily cut out a stamped image, they cut out scenery into your cardstock. And we'll look at those on the cards here. I also pulled in Pattern of Friendship, and the right words for stamps, for sentiments, but you can use whatever you like. You don't need to have those. The embellishments. You got a full pack of embellishments today, and they are these. These are from, they're called Adhesive Back Dots for Days, and they went with that cute vegetable suite from last year. I can't remember the name of it. To Market, maybe. And then you'll get some ribbon. This is the Mossy Meadow and gold trim. So it's really gold on one side and less gold on the other side, but really pretty Mossy Meadow. This goes with the pear suite, which I do have. I have the pear suite somewhere. We will need one marker today. I have Poppy Parade Dark, but you just need either like a dark orange or a red, something to color a very small portion of our fire that was part of your homework. So we'll color those in. And then let's look at the homework and the cards too. All right, so these are the cards we're gonna make. This is one of them, which I think I'm gonna change the color up a little bit. So I think I ink blended Azure Afternoon, but I'm gonna do Cloud Cover. Okay, there's card 2. Cute. And card 3. So now this one uses the arches, and we like inset this arch on the inside. So really pretty. It's not hard to do. It adds a lot to your card. And then this one is the most manly card I think I have ever made, because I really struggle making manly cards for men. So there are embellishments on here. There's no ribbon. I don't know. I can't make manly cards. It just goes against me. I really try. I think I made a fishing card last year. That was pretty guy-ish, right? So I apologize. I'm not good at making manly cards. All right, here's some of the homework that I did. So I have 2 fire flames. I have 2 logs for our fire. One is pecan pie and one is early espresso, and those are peach pie, I think. And then I have a little single tree and this 2 large trees that is die cut with 1 die. That's from Mossy Meadow. And then this die again in Granny Apple. And the rest of the die cutting is done on the larger pieces of cardstock due to the nature of these dies. So I'm gonna pull in my stack of cardstock. So these 2 pieces here are already embossed for you. This is using the plaid embossing folder. And one thing I want to mention, whenever I give you a piece of cardstock like this, whether it's the white for your insides or the matte for your outside or something like this, it's always going to be in the size of a quarter sheet. It's always going to be 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. So you will want to trim down your pieces to whatever you want them to be. So let's say it's a white inside, which is down here. It's going to measure 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. You'll want to cut that down to 4 by 5 1/4, right, to fit the inside of your card. This is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. We're probably going to trim it down to 4 1/8 by 5 3/8, or you could do 4 by 5 1/4. And the reason why I do that is because it's just me here. I kit up your card classes, me and Milo, and anyway, and it's a lot of work. And in order to get all of the pieces cut for you and kitted up and sent out to you in a timely manner, I have to just do like 2 cuts on a piece of cardstock, or 3 cuts. Otherwise, it turns into like 10 plus cuts on pieces of cardstock, and it takes a long time, and there's a lot of room for error too. So just know that whenever you get something like this, you will want to cut it down to fit on your paper. So don't just add glue and stick it down. You're going to want to measure first, like dry fit it, and make sure that it fits nicely. So one other thing is, when you get a class, you're going to do your die cutting. And so what I give you is quarter sheets of cardstock to do your die cutting. So like, you don't need all of this. You don't need all of this, but this is just what I give you. So you'll end up with lots of extra cardstock. And it's kind of nice because if you mess up, you get an extra piece, right? Or you have a little bit of wiggle room. So okay, that was part of our homework. So as you can see, part of our homework was to cut the tree line from Mossy Meadow and also cut those 2 trees from Mossy Meadow. So I have that done. Another part of our homework was to cut the flowers from Calypso Coral. And now the flower die is only this big. So I just lined it up. I didn't even line it up very well. And die cut that twice. Okay. And here's the grass from Granny Apple Green. I die cut that along the top, and then the big trees here. Now from Old Olive, our homework was to die cut the tree line, and then for a different card it was to cut the grass. So as you can see, it's doing double duty here. I've got both of those pieces here. Here's our mountains from our homework from Misty Moonlight, and here you can see what these dies do. They don't die cut an image out of your cardstock. They die cut an image into your cardstock, I guess is maybe the best way to describe that. And there have been and there are a few die sets that Stampin' Up! Does just like this, and they're unique, right? Okay, here is the water. This is Azure Afternoon, and this is a little die. I just die cut it repeatedly, moved the die as I die cut it, to get that rippling water effect. Okay. We'll also use this for one of our sentiments here. Okay, now here's Cloud Cover, the mountains from Cloud Cover, and this piece here with this score line, this is your peacock, your pretty peacock card base, essentially, and I die cut this here. Now, I pretty much die cut these in the same spot. If you wanted to die cut them like offset, you should do that. Like how I did it here, I die cut them offset. I wasn't thinking when I die cut it, I was just like, I was actually watching someone else on YouTube and just kind of in mindless die cutting mode. So my mountains are gonna line up today, but that's okay. So, okay, so I have those two. Now, this larger piece here is actually a mat for one of your cards. I die cut the logs here from Early Espresso, and then we needed logs from Pecan Pie too. So this is your little sentiment, and that's where I cut my logs from Pecan Pie. It's going to be covered up. So we try to use mats like that whenever we can to help, you know, conserve paper a little bit and not kill so many trees, right? So these are from Stylish Shapes or Nested Essentials. I can never remember what the names, which ones go with which. We use them all the time. So as is this little banner here from Basic Beige. Now you're gonna have, here's your little Unbounded Love sentiment here. These are for our card along with this larger Early Espresso piece. So these are gonna have some DSP get put onto them. And then this I did die cut for you. So this is from the Everyday Arches dies, and you need both pieces. So this is gonna be, we'll stamp on this and adhere our mountains and whatnot to this when the time comes for that card. You will need this piece. This piece is Cloud Cover, and it's a quarter sheet. It's 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, and you'll need it to go with this card. So I'm just gonna set this Cloud Cover piece aside with the Pretty Peacock and Cloud Cover Mountains. Okay. You'll have 4 white inserts. Again, they measure 4 by 5 1/4. They measure 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, and we'll cut them to 4 by 5 1/4. And we have our card bases. So I like to do top fold card bases. We only have 3 traditional card bases: Basic Beige, Misty Moonlight, and Crumb Cake, because the 4th card base is a combination of this Pretty Peacock Mountain with the score line here and this quarter sheet of Cloud Cover. So that's card number 4. Okay. Then we have this DSP, and I don't have what the name is on my piece. It's really cute, and you get 4 of each pattern. So you get this cute buffalo check, and the other side is this lined black and white. Here we have cute trees and acorns, really little acorns. And then this one is like this cute little bear tracks, like hiking, and the blue, which is also really pretty. So that's our DSP. We don't use DSP on one card, we only use it on 3 of them, but one of the cards has 2 of the DSPs on them. So, okay, let's get started, and I think we should start, which card should we start with? Let's start with this one. It's it's not hard to make, but we want to make sure that we do some of the steps in a very specific order. So let's pull out what we need. We don't need those. We need this Unbounded Love die cut. And we need these 3 pieces here. So our quarter sheet of cloud cover, and I know it does blend in with the color of my glass mat. It's really funny because my glass mat is a light teal, and in person you can tell the difference, but on camera it really looks a lot like cloud cover, doesn't it? That's kind of funny. We're gonna need this pretty peacock piece and our die cut mountains here. From our homework, we also will need our Azure Afternoon lake. We are going to need our Mossy Meadow tree line and our Old Olive grass. Yes. Okay. So let's maybe do step 1. We don't have any DSP on this one. So let's look at how we're gonna fold this. So this is a piece of Pretty Peacock, and it originally measured 5.5 by 4 3/4, and it's scored from the left at 1/2 inch. So that's how we get this little piece here that we're gonna fold back like this. So your finished card will measure 4 1/4 by 5.5. And it's going to go on here like this. So we're going to have a white inside here that kind of pops out. We'll stamp some clouds on here, and then we're going to be layering everything onto the top of the card like this. Okay, so we'll end up trimming this off as we go. We're going to line everything up. We're going to line up the mountains. We're going to line up a tree line. We're going to line up our water. And then finally at the very bottom, we'll line up our grass. So everything will be nice and lined up and give us a nice pretty scene, okay? We just have to do one step at a time. Okay, so let's pull out a white for the inside, and remember we have to cut. So we need to trim this down to 4 by 5 1/4. Okay. Milo is sleeping and he knocked over the garbage under me. It's laying on top of him. Are you comfy, Milo? Good boy. Are you taking your nap? I'm sorry, I won't say your name. I said his name and woke him up, so. Okay, let's do a little bit of stamping in here. So when we have our card closed, we're gonna see the very top of that white. Now I used Azure Afternoon, but I think it's too bright. So I'm gonna switch and do cloud cover. So let me find my stamps. So here are the clouds. It's a really big stamp here. Let's see, I think I need, can I fit it on a D block? Not really. Okay. And then we'll get cloud cover. I think you can still get the cloud cover stamp die. That's not right either. Words are hard today. Ink pad. I think they're on the last chance list. So I'm just going to stamp some clouds at the top. Stamp a couple more over here. Okay. And then I'm going to do a little bit of ink blending with cloud cover. So I'm going to take a blending brush and we're just going to do a very light application of ink around the edges here. Real light. Okay, just a little bit. So here we have our inside, very subtle. And then we can stamp our sentiment. I think I will also do cloud cover, but I do not trust my stamping to stamp straight, so I'm going to pull out my Misty and let's stamp what did I do on my sample? I did Can't Wait to See You Again, which is from this stamp set. Can't Wait to See You Again. I did it at the bottom. I think I'm going to do it in the center this time. Okay. And that's in Cloud Cover. So when you have these delicate words, just barely tap. We don't want to squish out the letters any more than necessary. Okay, and you can see my ink is so juicy, it did squish out the letters a little bit. So just stamp really gently when you have letters, and also when your ink pad is really juicy, which I have noticed for the last 2 years for sure, the in color ink pads have been really juicy. So, okay, so here we have, that is it's a little thick for my liking, but we're gonna leave it. Okay, you could always flip it over and stamp again, but for the sake of class, I think it's fine. All right, now let's stamp on our piece for the front. I did Let the Journey Begin, but how this works is you stamp Let the Begin, and then you stamp either Journey or Adventure in the middle. So Let the Begin is one stamp and Journey is another. You could also do Adventure. So let's see, that will fit on a D block. And Let the, here. So I stamped right in the center. I did Let the in Cloud Cover. Now if you don't have Cloud Cover, stamp in any light gray, smoky slate maybe, or you could stamp in Crumb Cake maybe. All right, and Journey is going to be an Azure Afternoon. Okay, then we're going to ink blend onto our pieces next. So Let the Journey Begin. Okay, isn't that cute? Let the Journey Begin. All right, so I'll set that over here. Let's do our ink blending now. Okay, we have Azure Afternoon open. So let's take our blue blending brush and our water, and we're gonna get a little bit of Azure ink, and I'm just gonna, it's a really vibrant color. So start off on either your paper, your glass mat, or your sticky mat, whatever you're using, and we're just gonna bring the color onto the edges, just a little bit. I'm just gonna kind of pick up from a glass mat. That's why I like the glass mat, because you can pick up that extra ink. Now, it's tone on tone. It's Azure Afternoon ink onto Azure Afternoon cardstock. So it's gonna go on darker than it will dry, because right now it's wet. So when it dries, it's gonna be a lot more subtle. So don't be afraid to add kind of a lot of ink here. Okay. All right, then we will do our Pretty Peacock onto our Pretty Peacock Mountains. Okay. So same thing, start off here and bring it down. I'm not ink blending all of it, just the edges here. Just the edges. Okay. All right, and then we'll go back to Cloud Cover. Wipe this up a little bit. We'll go back to Cloud Cover for these clouds. Cloud Cover is also a darker color. It goes on a lot darker on the ink pad than the cardstock is. Okay, so just some definition there. And then we'll do our greens. So we have both Old Olive and Mossy Meadow. I'm going to use the same blending brush, so I'm going to start with the lighter color, which would be Old Olive. And I'm going to put some of this onto my grass. Okay, just like that. And we'll do our trees. And from our trees, I'm going to use Mossy Meadow, and I'm going to come from the other direction. So rather than ink blend onto the top of the trees, I'm going to ink blend onto the bottom. So I'm going to pick up some Mossy Meadow, and we'll ink blend along the bottom of our trees here. So like the base of our trees. Okay. All right, that's our ink blending. I'm going to use a little bit of alcohol here. I just have it in a spray bottle and clean that up. Okay, I think we're ready to assemble. So let's make sure we have our pieces here. Now, first thing we're going to do is pull out these two pieces. So we have this Pretty Peacock Mountains and our quarter sheet of cloud cover. And what we're going to do is we're going to put glue only on this left edge here. This is going to get folded back, and it's going to glue here because this is going to open. Okay, this is our card front. So we're only going to put glue right here. Just like that. That's going to get closed onto the card. Okay, just make sure you line it up, kind of tap it on your table, and then give it a hold and let that liquid glue adhere. Okay. All right, now we can adhere our inside. So our white inside will go right here. Okay. And then we're going to start building up our mountains. Whoops, I did not center that, and it's already sticking down really well. Okay. So then when you close this, you can see your clouds popping out from back there. Okay. Okay. All right, let's start with, we're going to put our mountain here. Now, we do not need to add a ton of weight to this card. So we're going to trim this off. You can use a pencil if you want. So let's look at where we want this mountain to be. So I think that's a good amount of Pretty Peacock Mountain showing through. So let's look at where we're going to put our next card, our next piece, which is these trees. So I think the trees look good right about there. So that means that I can cut my cloud cover piece, you know, about here without any harm of, or any risk of the cloud cover showing where we're going to cut it. All right, next we'll do our water, which our water I think I'll just cut off here. So let's do, we can cut our trees and our cloud cover. So let's cut the cloud cover where we made our pencil mark. So this will just be extra. Okay, so here's our cloud cover piece. And then our trees, we can just cut off the extra here. We know we're not going to see a ton of our trees. And our water, I think I'll do it this way. There's our water. And then these, I'm going to just cut these trees off from the other end. So these trees go back in our homework pile. They're for a different card. Okay. We'll use this for a sentiment on a different card, so just hold on to that piece. And I think we can glue the rest down. All right, so let's glue our mountains down. Now you're just going to want to be careful when you do your glue on these mountains because they do have little die cut lines and the glue will seep through. So I'm going to do my best to not put any glue on those die cut lines, and I'm going to line this up on my card front and press it down. All right, now we need our tree lines. We'll do the same thing. This one's a bit easier because there aren't any die cut lines on the trees. I think these would be pretty if you added some snow to them. You could use some stencil paste and add some snow. Some snow in the mountains. All right, then we'll do our water. Now this one, do just a very light application of glue because the glue will poke through. Okay, so this will go at the base of our tree line here. Might have to trim a little bit of that off. That's okay. Hi, Cindy. Thank you. All right, my Azure Afternoon piece is pretty long, so I'm gonna trim the excess off. Okay. Hi, Milo. Are you doing okay? Can I help you? The garbage is on top of your head. Are you okay, Bubby? Okay, now this one is gonna go here. Don't worry about what's hanging off the bottom. We will cut it. So just put some glue, maybe the top inch or so of this, and then line it up where you'd like it. I want to see kind of a lot of water, I think. Okay. And then we'll flip this over and we're going to trim this off. And I like to use a pair of really long scissors. It helps me cut straighter because I don't cut very straight. If I have to freehand cut anything, watch out. I'm not very good at it. Okay, that looks good. All right, so there we go. See how easy that was to put that together? It really doesn't. The dies look confusing and a little intimidating. Now remember, you can really offset your mountains. I want to call them mountains because there is a stamp set with somebody that is kitten related and they do the play on words with meow, and so I want to call them mountains. Cindy is the same with die cutting. Yes. Yeah, I have to die cut things. I'm not good cutting anything on their own. Okay, we're going to add this down here. And I have to find my dimensionals. I did not grab those. Let's see. Here we go. Oh gosh, you can see how much I need to color my hair when I lean forward. I got a haircut, so I feel really good that my hair is cut. I haven't had a haircut since Black Friday. I know. But it needs to be colored. I never really used to have to color my hair very often. Like I could get by with like twice a year. And if I was more blonde, I think I probably could go longer without getting my hair done. But since my hair is so dark, it just is so obvious when the gray grows in. Okay, here I am just making a bow. My bow maker. You will have plenty of ribbon. I obviously have the little schniblets here left over. And I don't know if I have any more of this ribbon. I think I do somewhere. I have to find it. But you have a whole bunch in your kit, so. Okay, so there's a cute little bow, and we'll put that on with a dot. And then you have a whole package of embellishments, so you can embellish with as many or as little embellishments as you want. So on the original card, oh, these are weird. That's annoying. I cut these up for a class last year and they're not organized very well. Okay, so I'm gonna do like a big green and a little clear, and I'm going to do a little green here. Okay. All right, so there's card 1. Now I'm probably going out of order from the PDF, but card 1. Okay, I wanted to show you this card first to show you what these dies can really do. Really unique dies in a good way. All right, out of ribbon. Let's get these out of the way. Oh, there's an embellishment I lost. Oh, it doesn't have a sticky on it. Okay, all right, let's move on to the next card. Let's do this one. Okay, so this one involves the second most die cutting, or maybe it's the first most die cutting, but let's pull it out. Okay, so this one uses our Misty Moonlight card base. Yes, Cindy, I know. It's, I don't know if you were here from the beginning, but I talked about how I have such a hard time making guy cards. I love pink, and I love teal, and I love bows and embellishments and glitter, and so this set really forced me to not be so girly, quote unquote girly. However, I would like to see these cards in like pinks and teals and all of that. I think they might be kind of fun. Like, would it be realistic? No. But most of the stuff we make isn't realistic anyway. So, okay, let's pull out our die cut pieces. So we're going to need our Scrap of Azure Afternoon. That's going to be for our water and our sentiment. And then from your homework, we have a few things. We have our Misty Moonlight Mountain, and we have our tree line in Old Olive, our grass in Granny Apple, our flowers from Calypso Coral, and then we need our Granny Apple Green double trees, our Mossy Meadow single tree, fire, which I can't pick up, fire, and our logs that are in early espresso, along with these pieces that I die cut for you. Okay, so there's a lot of pieces to this card. We still need our white inside and our DSP. Thankfully, those two are super easy. But there's a lot of pieces. Cindy says, I struggle with guy cards. This set would be great for uncles and nephews. Yes, definitely. And I think it would pair really well with all of the past like fishing sets that we've had. There's been quite a few. And I think it would pair well with that. Okay, let's do our trimming first. So let's pull out one of our whites. This is our inside, and we're going to cut it to 4 by 5 1/4. 4 by 5 1/4. Okay, and we're also going to cut our DSP. So from your DSP pack, you're going to pull out these stripes and decide which way you want your stripes to go, if you want them horizontal or vertical. So I'm going to keep them horizontal. I like them that way. So I'm going to cut this horizontal in portrait. So it's going to be 4 wide by 5 1/4 tall. You could make your mat bigger than this if you wanted to do 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. I personally like the Misty Moonlight popping out from the sides, so I'm going to stick with that. This will go here. Okay, and our white is obviously for the inside. So let's work on our stamping. So I did Let's Keep in Touch. That is not from this bundle. Let's Keep in Touch. Where is it? Oh, it's right here. Pattern of Friendship, Let's Keep in Touch. And then we also did from our bundle here these cute little flowers or weeds. I guess they're weeds because I stamped them in green. But, you know, most flowers, not most, a lot of flowers are weeds, right? I see them growing in the ditch. I don't think they're technically flowers. I think a lot of them are weeds. But I don't know anything about growing things. I'm terrible at growing things. Okay, so let's see. We're gonna do a line of flowers in Did I do that in Old Olive? What did I do it on the sample? Yeah, that's Old Olive. And it's gonna go on here too. Okay, so here I have my white inside and this is my white outside. Let's do the white inside first. So let's do those little flowers along the bottom in Old Olive, and I'm just gonna kind of stamp along the bottom here. Okay, just like that. I'm gonna leave my Old Olive and that stamp out, and I'm gonna pull out my Misty Moonlight. And we'll do Let's Keep in Touch. Now my Misty Moonlight, this ink pad, no matter how much I ink it up, it needs to be re-inked. So I don't know, maybe I just need a new ink pad. Okay. All right, we can put our Misty Moonlight away. Okay, that's the inside. We'll set that up here. Now we're gonna stamp on this outside piece. So from the center of this, I have die cut for you this arch. So just set this aside. We're gonna stamp on this next. But for now, let's stamp the inside here. So we're gonna take the Old Olive again and that same floral weed stamp, whatever it is, and stamp along the bottom here. So we're gonna see these little flowers popping up from here. Okay. All right, now we're gonna do a little bit of surgery. You could call it. I'm gonna flip this over. Okay, so I'm looking at the back. I'm gonna flip over my arch. So this is the front. I'm gonna put it down, and I'm gonna line it up in here. Okay, and once I get it lined up in there, I'm gonna take some tape, and I'm gonna tape it. I'm gonna tape it in place. And that is so that we can stamp on the front without it moving. Okay, so we're gonna take our cloud cover and our clouds, and we're gonna stamp some clouds. So here, I'll stamp here, and some up here. Oops, that one didn't stamp the greatest. And one over here. That's all right. Clouds are wispy, right? Clouds are meant to be wispy. And then we're going to do a little bit more stamping before we start putting the card together. So if you can't tell, I like to do things in a nice order. I like to get the cutting done, I like to get the stamping done, and then I like to put everything together. So in my mind, that's sort of how I make cards when I'm by myself, I guess, is my point. Sometimes I've done class where we do all the stamping first and then put the cards together, but sometimes that can be kind of confusing. So, okay, that's all we're doing for the stamping on this piece, so you can take your tape off and pull them apart. Okay, and set your tape aside. I reuse my tape 8,000 times until it doesn't stamp, or until it doesn't stick anymore. Okay, oh, more stamping. Okay, we need some water here. See, so we don't need a lot of water, just a little bit. So we're going to take the water stamp here. It's this one. And we're going to take our Azure Afternoon. That needs a D block. Azure Afternoon. And then we're going to stamp the water. So on the last card, we didn't stamp the water, we die cut the water. And on this card, we're going to stamp the water. So I'm going to start at the top. Sorry if my head gets in the way. And I'm just going to stamp along. And then I'm going to flip my stamp upside down. And stamp again. Okay, that's it. Just some water. I'm going to stamp one time in the middle. Why not? Okay, there's our water. We are going to do one more thing of stamping. And it is going to be on this Azure Afternoon piece. I am going to use my Misty. And from Pattern of Friendship, I'm going to do Thanks for Being the Best. Thanks for being the best. Okay, we are going to fussy cut this out, unfortunately. So just put it in the corner of your cardstock here. And then I'm going to use my pigment black ink because that's what I use for sentiments that aren't being die cut out. And that's because it stamps really nicely. However, it does need time to dry. So we're going to fussy cut that out in a little bit. Thanks for being the best. I think this might be on the last chance list already. It has a really fun die. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's not on the last chance list. But the die is really fun, and I'm sad that it's potentially going away already. Okay, we're going to cut away our water, set this off to dry, and let's start assembling. So we're going to do something similar that we did to the last card with our paper here. We don't need all of this paper, so I'm just actually going to use my scissors and trim all this away. I'm going to trim my flowers out here. Okay, so there's our flowers. Here's our grass. Our mountains are fine, or I mean our trees are fine, and then let's do our mountains here. Okay. So here we just have this as extra for now. You can set it aside. And I didn't do any ink blending this time. You can do ink blending like we did on the last card if you want. I like to maybe show a couple different ways to do things. So you've seen what they look like ink blended, and on this card you've seen what they look like not ink blended. So we're going to put together half of our card on this arch, and then the other half is going to go on the outside arch. So let's start with what's going to go first on here, and it's going to be our mountains. So you can pick which part of the mountain you want to show. We're going to trim off anything that's on the outside. So I'm just going to put some glue kind of right here in the middle. And remember, less is more on the mountains as far as the glue where it's die cut up there. Now, do not wait to trim off the excess until you're all the way done. If you wait, this will be too thick for you to trim off. So you have to do it as you go. Okay, so there's mountains. Next will be our trees. So our trees are going to go like that. Okay. Line up our trees here. So I don't know that mountains are ever really blue, but I liked the misty moonlight for the mountains, so we're gonna get blue mountains. Okay, this we're gonna tear. So this is Azure Afternoon, it's what we just stamped, and we're gonna tear. So I'm gonna pull toward me. This is not two-tone cardstock. It's not gonna have a white core. It's just gonna have, it's dyed all the way through. It's not printed on. So it's gonna have an azure core. So we're gonna tear with our right hand toward us. So hold with left hand, tear with right hand, and I'm not gonna be super perfect. I would like it to be a little uneven. I don't want it to be a perfectly straight across line. Okay, so here's our water. So pick what part you like best. That can be your water. You probably could use tape runner here if you wanted. Okay. Pick what part of the grass you want. Cindy says there are Blue Ridge Mountains in Virginia. They have a blue color. Oh, see? So we are realistic on this card. Thank you, Cindy. Okay, I'm going to do, I kind of want to get both of those pieces of the grass in here. I'm going to trim off some of this excess on the bottom. And I kind of want both of those pieces of grass. I like them both in the little scene here. I'm not sure how many states on the East Coast they go through. I bet they go through a couple, right? Okay, so here's our grass. I bet they go through a couple. I don't think I've been to Virginia. Well, yes, I have, because I think the DC airport is in Virginia. I don't think it's actually in DC. And the cemetery, Arlington, I think is in Virginia. So I have been to Virginia. I haven't been to the mountains in Virginia. Okay, and then this is going to go on the very bottom. These are our calypso coral flowers. Yeah, so I have not been to the mountains in Virginia. Okay. All right, so this piece, when you're all done with it, it feels really substantial because we put so much on it. Okay, but it's really cute. Isn't it cute? Like this little scene. It's a mini scene. All right, I'm gonna sweep all this into the trash here. Okay. All right, let's glue this stuff onto our card. I'm gonna have to clean my scissors. Let's glue these items onto the card. Let's start with our inside, and we'll do our DSP. So here's our inside. I'm not doing very good at centering things today, and I didn't put enough glue on it to have wiggle room. Okay, I'm gonna focus on centering. Center, center, center. All right, that's better. Yes, DC Airport and Arlington. Yep. Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay, we're gonna put this piece down first, but we're gonna pop this up. And we're gonna inset this piece with glue. So I'm gonna add dimensionals, or you could use the foam strips. That would require forethought, and I didn't think about that. So I'm just gonna cut some strips on my regular dimensionals. You can do that. I don't know if anyone throws away their little scraps on your dimensionals, but you shouldn't. You should use everything you have here. Let's see, I'm going to do this side. Use all these little side pieces. They're the same height. They're the same height as the dimensionals, so. Does it mess up your sheet? Yeah, I guess it does, but you know, that's okay. Okay, so this we're gonna center once we get all of our backers off. Cindy just looked it up. The Blue Ridge Mountain spans 550 miles. Wow, that's huge. And goes through Pennsylvania, Maryland, West Virginia, Virginia, North Carolina, South Carolina, Tennessee, and Georgia. I had no idea. Now we have to go see Blue Mountains. Okay, so this is going to be centered. Okay, and then this we're going to pop in. So this will get liquid glue, and it fits perfectly in here. Kind of pop it in. This might take your pick. There we go. Okay. All right. Okay, now we're going to work on adding the rest of our pieces to the outside of the card. So one thing we do need to do with the fire, though, is we are going to color it. So this is the fire, and you don't need to color it. I think it would be fine just like this. However, I want it to be a little bit different, so I'm taking dark poppy and coloring just this inner flame here. Okay. So then we get a little bit of variation there. Okay, these are going to get glued down right here on the left side. Our sentiment is going to go on the right. So if you'd rather your sentiment be on the left, then glue your trees on the right. Okay. Our little tree will go kind of in the center. I need tweezers. This is so little. So little. Okay, our little tree. Don't add too much glue. Again, these all have die cut pieces. They all have die cut lines in them. Okay. And then we'll do our fire over here. And I'm gonna glue down my flames first. Oh no, I don't do the sentiment on the left, on the right. I do the sentiment on the left. Our little fire goes over here. Okay. Like that. Now, we do need to fussy cut our sentiment. I'm going to put something heavy on this, which is going to be a magnet. So my little trick for fussy cutting, because I'm not very good at it, is I take a pencil and I very lightly draw where I'm going to cut. And then when I'm cutting, I don't have to think so hard about where I'm going to cut. Okay, so I drew a really thin pencil line, and then we'll cut. So I'm trying to move the paper and not my scissors as best I can. And I'm trying to keep the paper in the center of the blade of my scissors, which is easier said than done. I'm going to cut away this excess. Okay. And then when we're all done, we will take our eraser and just sort of erase any pencil marks that are left. Okay. Yes, it's my little trick. I'm not good at fussy cutting, so this is my little trick at getting around it. I really like when they have dies that die cut the image or die cut the sentiment, which doesn't happen that often, but I wish it happened more. Sometimes you don't want to stamp onto like a die cut, you know, sometimes you want to die cut the sentiment. Okay. And then for embellishments, I don't know where I put them. Here they are. Oh, mine are such a mess. Okay, look, whoops. Let's do some of this lighter green. I don't know what color it is, to be honest. Let's do a lighter green here. Let's do a little one up here, and let's do a big white one. So you have a whole, oops, I'm sorry. You have a whole pack. You can do as many as you want. You can do 5, you could do 7. If you like the even numbers, you can do 4. Okay, whoops. Half of my embellishments lost their sticky somehow. I don't really know how. Maybe they're just old. Okay, card 2, guys. Okay. Isn't it cute? I love that this is die cut, like the arch, but that the clouds still flow through to the whole panel. Right? All right. Oh, and here's the sample. Oh, see, in the sample I have my flowers a lot lower. So, okay. That's card 2. Card 2 done. All right, let's look at the last 2. So, let's pull out You know, let's do the easiest one last. Okay, they're both pretty easy with what's left over, but let's do the easiest one last. So let's pull out, this is our basic beige card base. It's kind of like in between vanilla and crumb cake, if you had to put a, like, where it would fall in the lineup of colors. All right, this one's going to get, we need a white inside, and we need our piece that is dry embossed with the plaid embossing folder. Now both these are going to need to be trimmed down, so let's do that, and we'll cut our DSP while we're at it. So we want these to be 4 by 5 1/4. 4 by 5 1/4. That one's got a little whammy out of it, so we'll do 4 by 5 1/4. Okay. Oh, I forgot we're going to cut our DSP. We'll use the little trimmer because we're going to do something special with our DSP here. Okay, we need to pull out from our stack of papers. We have, I don't know where I put them. They're here. Okay, we have this piece here. So we die cut our logs from the last card from the center of this. But this piece, nope, it's not this one. It's the square. So this square measures 3 1/4 by 3 1/4. Okay, so it's a 3 1/4 by 3 1/4 square. So we're going to cut our DSP to be 1/4 inch smaller. So we're going to cut a piece of DSP to be 3 by 3. Now, this is, oh no, wait, I got the card mixed up. We are on this one. We are on this one. I'm sorry. Okay. So this one is 3 by 4 1/4. So we're going to cut this DSP. Let's pull out our DSP. We need this sheet here and these cute little trees. Okay. So they're both directional. So when we cut them, we want to make sure we have them in the right direction. So what did I say this was? 3 by, I think I said 3 by 4 1/4. Yeah, 3 by 4 1/4. So we're going to do 2 3/4 by 4. So 2 3/4 wide. So I think this is the direction that it's going. So 2 3/4 wide by 4. Okay, so that will cover up our little piece there. Okay, and then we're going to pull out our other, we have a little old olive that is 3 1/8 by 2 1/8. So we're going to cut that at, let's see, if it was 3 1/8, we're going to do 2 7/8 wide. So make sure you're in the correct landscape orientation. So 2 7/8 wide. And what did I say it was tall? 2 1/8. So that's 1 7/8 tall. So 1 7/8. So we have these two pieces. Okay, this one and this one. And that means I have the wrong color. Sorry, I have the wrong color mat. We're going to pull out the mossy metal mat and also trim that one down. And in the meantime, we already have the basic beige trimmed down. So this is 4 by 5 1/4. All right, let's go over what we have for this card since I accidentally pulled out the wrong colors. We have basic beige card base, obviously the white mat for the inside. This is a mossy metal piece. It's already been embossed for you, dry embossed. Then we have our espresso mat with this cute DSP and our old olive mat with this cute DSP. Okay, so we can glue these pieces, we can glue this piece to the card base, this to here, and this to here. Okay, so let's do that. I think I like this side better. Yeah, I'm gonna glue this side down. I recommend using liquid glue for this embossed piece because it has a lot of texture to it. And I think it'll peel up if you don't use liquid glue. Everything else, I think you can use your glue of choice. Now, I did a quarter mat on here, so each side has a larger mat. If you want your DSP to fill the cardstock a little more, you could do just an 1/8 mat. It's up to you. I think the instructions probably read an 1/8 mat, so if you wanted to follow the instructions exactly, you could. All right, we're gonna pull out our trees that we cut from Mossy Meadow, and I'm not even gonna re-ink my blending brush. I'm just gonna take and put some of that Mossy Meadow that's already on my blending brush onto the sides of our trees. Okay, so we darkened our trees a little bit. And our sentiment on this one goes onto our basic beige Stylish Shapes or Nested Essentials, whichever one this is. And I did I Miss You Already, and that is from The Right Words, I Miss You Already. I Miss You Already. Now I will tell you, Early Espresso is another one of my colors that no matter how much I re-ink it, it's always dry. So I think this is too little to try to stamp in the Misty. So I'm gonna try to stamp it like this, and we'll see how it goes. But if you do have a piece of basic beige, it might be better to try stamping on a larger piece and then die cutting it if you have the dies. Not necessary, just might be easier. Okay, that's pretty good, if I don't say so myself. All right, now behind here, we're gonna put some ribbon, and I'm out of the ribbon. Okay, I'll show you. On this one, we weave the ribbon behind, but I'm out of the ribbon. I gave it all to you guys, so I'm gonna pick a different ribbon. I have a whole bunch of this. It's basic beige. It's the new basic beige from the Beautiful Gallery suite. So I'm gonna use it because that's what I have. But just know that you have that pear ribbon. So I'm gonna flip this over, put some tear and tape on the back, put some tear and tape on my hand, and we're gonna sort of make a little faux bow behind our sentiment here. So I'm just gonna take my ribbon and kind of push it like this and like this, and I'm pushing it into that tear and tape every time I sort of loop it. Okay, all right. Okay, so then when you have it how you like it, you just take your other piece of tear and tape and you make a sandwich. That's it. Super easy, not hard. And then trim your tails. Okay, that's it. All right, let me put my ribbon away. I bought a lot of this ribbon. I don't know why, but I have like 6 rolls of it. Why do I need 6 rolls of that ribbon, you ask? I don't know. Because I thought I needed it. Okay, these I'm gonna pop up. You should do the adhesive sheets. I'm out. I'm out of the adhesive foam sheets. I used them all up. I wish we would come out, I wish Stampin' Up! Would come out with, they have really thin strips, foam strips, but I wish they would come out with thicker foam tape, like wider. Okay, this is gonna go in the upper left corner. So I have about 1/4 inch on the top and 1/4 inch on the left. And then this one's just gonna go here, but I am gonna put 2 dimensionals on this right side. So as far right as I can get them is where I'm gonna put those dimensionals. And then the rest will just get glue. It's like, where's my glue? But it's literally right in front of me. Okay, and that's gonna pop up about here. So I'm gonna leave about 1/4 of an inch on the bottom, peeking through, and 1/4 of an inch over here. Okay, so real simple, a fun way to showcase a background and 2 different types of DSP. Our little trees are gonna go here. They're gonna be right on the green here, right on the DSP. And then our sentiment, we're gonna use some dimensionals and pop it up. Okay, so dimensionals don't stick very well to tear and tape, the backer there. So you can peel it off if your piece of tear and tape is really big. Just peel off the backer. But mine's relatively small and out of the way. So, all right, miss you already. It's gonna go right here. Okay. And we need embellishments. Okay, so these ones I did the greens. I think it's garden green, and I don't know what this is. Is this lemon lime twist maybe? I really don't know. Garden green and lemon lime twist. We'll go with that. And then I'll do a little green down here. Okay. All right, so that's manly card. Oh, and we need an inside. We need an inside. What should we put on the inside? Oh, and this one I just did trees. Should we stamp some trees? Let's see. Should we stamp a couple trees? Let's do all 3 trees. Why not? Let's do old olive trees. So big tall tree and old olive. And then let's do the medium tree and old olive. And then let's do the little tree in mossy meadow. And I didn't do a sentiment in here. You could. All right, please ink up nicely. Okay, so there's our trees. Did I turn that down? I think I did. Yeah, I did. And that goes on our inside. I don't use basic beige very much, but I think it's a good masculine card color. Okay, there we go. There's masculine card number 3. All right, we still have embellishments and we still have ribbon. I'm sorry. I have a real hard time not doing either one of those. Okay, now this next one, there's no ribbon, so maybe that's more masculine. All right, the next one is really easy. It's the easiest card. We have our crumb cake card base, and we have our die cut sentiments. So these are from Stylish Shapes or Nested Essentials, and this one's pecan pie. You can see we cut our logs from it, but you're not going to know because this one's going to go on top of it. This is in crumb cake. And we have our last 2 little pieces of fire, and I am going to color it again, the inside of that fire. Remember, this part is totally optional. You don't have to color it. It looks fine without it. We need our last white piece, which for some reason I'm missing a white piece. Oh no, here it is. All right, so let's cut our white piece, and then we'll, and we're gonna use the other one because we're gonna trim our paper a little bit differently on this one. Okay, so this will be 4 by 5 1/4. This is our inside. Now, this square, now we can talk about this square. Okay, it measures 3 1/4 by 3 1/4. What we're going to do is we're going to line it up in the blade line of our trimmer, corner to corner. Doesn't matter which corner, it's a square, so you're just going to make sure you have corner and corner. Each of the corners are in the cutting groove, and we're going to cut. So we're going to cut our square into 2 pieces. Okay. Oh, let's pull out the other piece that I had. So this is our your other piece that's embossed with that same embossing folder. So this is in crumb cake, and these 2 pieces are going to be here and here on the card. Okay, so let's do just 1/8 of an inch mat on these instead of a 1/4 inch. So we're going to pull out our buffalo plaid DSP. Let me find mine. Okay, so here it is, and we're going to cut it at 3 1/8 by 3 1/8. This was 3 1/4 by 3 1/4, and I want just an 1/8 inch mat this time. So we're going to do 3 1/8 by 3 1/8. So 3 1/8 by 3 1/8, and then we're going to do the exact same thing. So it doesn't matter, this also is non-directional. So we're going to take and put 1 corner in the cutting blade here and 1 quarter in the cutting blade, or the cutting groove. I'm not sure what you call that, but we're going to do a diagonal cut. Okay, so cut, cut. Now we have this little square that we just trimmed in 2. Okay, that's it. That's all the cutting. That's all the cutting we're going to do. Okay. Let's do our stamping. Let's see what I stamped on the inside of this one. Ooh, I stamped You're Amazing. And I used Cajun Craze. So this is from this stamp set. It's the biggest stamp. You're Amazing. Cajun Craze is another one of those colors that I never use. I don't have one of those big blocks clear. I never use Cajun Craze. I'm not a huge orange person, and so I think Cajun Craze just doesn't call to me. But it is a great fall color. Great fall color. All right, that's our inside, and then let's do our sentiment. So I did Just Breathe and Take It Slow, and I did that in Early Espresso. I am going to stamp on the back to see how it stamps. I'm going to flip my sentiment over. Just make sure it stamps nice. It does. Okay, so just breathe and take it slow. Yay, cute. And that's it for stamping. Okay, so let's glue some things down. Let's glue the inside down. And we're going to glue our mat down on the front that we trimmed down to 4 by 5 1/4. It does blend into the background a little bit because it is crumb cake on crumb cake. However, the texture sets it apart from the background. Okay. Right, we're going to glue this. I'm only putting glue on the outside. This goes in the center of this. These are stylish, no, these are Nested Essentials. I can't remember. I can't remember. Okay. Now we're going to glue these pieces down, our little DSP down. And they line up nicely with just a little baby margin. Okay, and little baby margin on this one. And then we're going to pop these up on the card. So get that nice and centered, and then we'll put some dimensionals on here. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, so it doesn't matter which one you put in which corner, they're identical, mostly. With, I'm sure they're not exactly identical. Okay, so I'm gonna do a 1/4 inch margin on the left and the top, and then on this one I'll do a 1/4 inch margin on the bottom and the right. Okay, so we have this open space here for our sentiment. We're gonna add dimensionals, but just here. We want liquid glue here and dimensionals here. So let me grab maybe 2 dimensionals, and okay, here and here needs a dimensional. And then here and here needs liquid glue. Okay, so that will get centered. And then we have our fire. Now I'm a little bit extra, but I popped the fire up. So I'm going to cut a very little baby dimensional and put that on the back of the fire. And I'm going to pop that up. It's going to go here. And then we'll glue our little flames on top. Or not our little flames, our little logs. Okay. All right, lastly, we need our embellishments on this one. And the greens don't really go, so we're gonna do the clear. So I'll do a big clear. I have one little clear left there, and then I'll do a big clear up here. Okay. And there is Manly card number 4. All right, so let me know which one is your favorite. Here's 4, here's 3. Yours will look like this with this ribbon, right? I just ran out, although I really like it in this ribbon. Here's 3, here's 2. I think this one's my favorite. And here's card 1. Okay. All right, so I think number 2 is my favorite. I do like them all. I so seldom make masculine cards that I'm really liking them. So we'll see if I can attempt to make more. No promises. No promises. So, but I will try. I will do my best. All right. Oh, thanks, Cindy. You like number 1. I'm glad you like that one. I like it too. Very pretty. Okay, let me go get Milo. And he's taking a nap. Oh my goodness, he's so sweet. He's got his paw under his head like this. And he's snuggling his little blankie. So I'm gonna just mention snack, and I think he'll make his way over here. Milo, do you want your snack, bubby? Do you want to come get your snack? Let me get your snacks. Let's see. They're over here. All right, come here. Here he is. Hi. How was your nap? Did you have a good nap? Did you? Did you have a good nap? Do you want your snacks? Oh, you're such a good boy. Come here. Come here. Oh, yes. You're such a good puppy. Good boy, Milo. Good boy. Good boy, buddy. Oh, who's a good puppy? Did you enjoy class today? Were you a good student? Were you a good student? You were a good student. That's good. I don't know how many treats that is, but it's a lot. Yeah, that was a lot of treats. Yes. Oh, good boy. Yes, good boy. Everyone says hi, Milo. They say hi, Milo. Hi, Milo. Good boy. Good boy. All right. Well, that was our Scenic Adventures class. I hope you enjoyed making the cards. Just a reminder, I have one card kit left for class today. If you do want to purchase it, please go on my website. It's first come, first serve. So before class, you can purchase them just by emailing me. But after class, you can try to email me if the class hasn't been purchased off the website. I will definitely sell it to you not on the website. I just want to make sure that I don't sell it to you if it's already been purchased online. So if you would like to purchase it, it's $45, and you can send me an email and I'll try to take it down off the website real quick, or you can buy on the website. So I will ship it out to you. It's already ready to go, and you can make the cards that you see here today. So you always get a PDF guidebook that I email to you. You don't need to print it because you get a printed PDF guidebook. You get a printed guidebook in your card kit. So, okay. Well, that's what we have today. I don't remember which class we have next Friday, but it's either Holiday Hustle, Milo's Card Club, which is Impressions of Bloom, or it's More Messages. I think it's Milo's Card Club, but I can't remember. But it's all scheduled. You'll see it on YouTube scheduled out for next Friday. I don't even know what the date is next Friday. The 5th? Something like that. Okay. Well, thanks for spending your Friday afternoon with me. I know there is a lot of people to watch, and if you were able to catch me live, I am honored that you chose to watch me. And if you are watching on replay, thank you so much for watching replay. Please leave a comment, and I love to reply to all of your comments. So thanks for watching, Cindy. I'm glad to have you here. Okay, all right, well, I will catch you guys all next Friday. I hope you have a great weekend. If you're in the US, I hope you have a great holiday weekend. We get an extra long weekend, unless you're working, of course. My husband will be working, so that's extra long weekend for the kids. They just started school, and now they're already off on Monday, so they're pretty excited. And I think it's supposed to be nice here in Wisconsin, so that'll be great. And so, yeah. All right, well, thank you, everyone. Milo says goodbye. He's down here taking a nap again. And he looks forward to class next time so he can say hello and have snacks again. So, all right, well, take care. Have a great weekend, and I'll catch you guys next time. Bye now.